Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the live streaming session on Combined Defense Services Examination. In fact, all of us have great dreams. Everybody wishes to accomplish all the dreams, and most of our dreams are professional. Who should I be? What should I be? Yes, I must be a successful person. I have to accomplish all my dreams. Maybe some of us wish to be great professors, great writers, great musicians, great army officers, or, yeah, as children, most of us are fond of, regardless of gender, boy, girl, or transgender, some of us are very fond of using weapons. Yeah, as a boy or girl or transgender of 3 years or 4 years, during our childhood days, we buy toys, and most of the toys, yeah, I remember as a young boy of 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, yeah, even later when I was a teenager, even now, right, what I am fond of is, of course, weapons, right? There are people who are fond of weapons, and we are, of course, yeah, some of us are fond of becoming army officers, defense personnel, right? And it's really wonderful becoming an officer in the armed forces of any nation. And today, in this live streaming session, I'll be just discussing how a person can become an officer in the armed forces of India, and that is Combined Defense Services Examination. We are discussing Combined Defense Services Examination, and I'll be focusing in my lecture on the very nature of the work of people in the armed forces. Similarly, I'll be talking about the very basic qualities, that is, of course, the very eligibility required to become an officer in the armed forces. We will also look at the work environment of officers in the defense forces. Work environment refers to the places and the nature of work that is entrusted upon army officers. Similarly, we will also look at the physical and psychological requirements, very important. Physical and psychological requirements required for essential physical and psychological requirements for to become an officer in the armed forces of India, Army, Navy, or Air Force. And this is very, very essential, the physical and psychological requirements. And I would say, if as a young boy, children in the schools, if they wish to be officers in the armed forces, with training, with practice, they can, of course, achieve the expected requirements, physical and psychological. Okay, and we will also look at the very entry procedure, how to join the armed forces, the entry procedure. Okay, which examination, what kind of examination, what subjects, the very kind of questions that can come in the examination, the Combined Defense Services Examination, all that we will discuss. Then we will also look at the very educational, like the training given to armed forces officers, right? Which all institutions people have heard about. Most of us have heard about the National Defense Academy. We have heard about Officers Training Academy, the Indian Military Academy. Then, of course, different academies at different places. Like we have the Indian Military Academy in Dehradun, Indian, of course, Officers Training Academy in Gaya, Chennai, then Dehradun. Okay, so how to get trained in these institutions? This is what we look at. Okay, besides, we will also look at the selection procedure, then the personality testing. Personality is very important. Personality testing, that is, of course, a number of tests for assessing the personality of the aspiring Army, Navy, or Air Force officer. It includes interview, psychological testing, then, of course, a number of other uh, selection procedure, like there is a board for that. So we'll be looking at all that in this session. Besides, we'll also look at the very final. There is, of course, an interview, a psychological test, then interview and final selection. And we will also see the training in the Indian Military Academy, as well as the combined when we after the CDS examination or combined defense services examinations, what kind of training is given in the National Defense Academy or the Officers Training Academy or the IMA's Indian Military Academy. Training and placement. Okay, placement is where is the candidate who qualify, who pass the training, going to be placed. And we will also look at the career progression. Career progression refers to the very promotions a an officer can have. And I'll detail, or rather I'll elaborate the career progression, like in Army, Navy, and Air Force. a an officer cadet, right? You go to IMA, Indian Military Academy, or you go to the National Defense Academy, or you just commission from, you complete your training, and that's your pre-commission or commission, right? You commission from any academy, you will be an officer. And in Army, Navy, and Air Force, in Army, you just commission as a lieutenant with two stars. And in the Navy, you commission as a sub lieutenant. And in the Air Force, you commission as a flying officer. And thereafter, you have a number of career progression and promotions, or you have what is called ranks. And I'll be speaking about all that, all right, in this session. And now let us just look at the combined defense services, okay, in detail. And before just discussing it in detail, I would like to mention one thing, that with hard work, determination, and confidence, anybody can reach anywhere. You can accomplish all your dreams with hard work, determination, and confidence. Believe in yourself, believe in your potentials, believe in your talents, believe that very soon, or rather sooner than later, you are going to accomplish your dream, and work for that. And number two, you should just be determined, should be determined. Determination is very essential for accomplishing your dreams. Don't give up your hope. Don't give up your dream. And hard work. Hard work. That is no time for being negligent. No time for being negligent. Okay? So just have fun. You need to have the required amount of time for, or okay, enough time for fun, jog, family, recreation, all right, all that you need. But otherwise, 24 hours of the day, okay, just sleep, rest for maybe 7 to 8 hours, then spend time for your family, of course, then the rest for the society, your neighborhood, your friends, right? The rest of the time, students, young men and women, you must ensure that you work hard. Okay, you should see to it that all your potentials, all your, maybe, okay, that is right, you should ensure that physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, socially, you grow up daily, daily basis. So you should be systematic, and systematic planning is required to achieve your goals. This is what I have to tell you in the beginning. Now, let us just come to the discussion of the Combined Defense Services Examination, that is the CDSE. All right, and now, first of all, let me just say, I'll just discuss in detail, but let us look at the entry procedure. Entry procedure is, that is the age limit, who can apply, how old you must be, or what is the minimum age and what is the maximum, right? And when you just look at the age, it is, you should keep in mind the fact that if you have crossed the age limit for applying to National Defense Academy. And National Defense Academy is in Pune. It is, of course, the very place is Khadakwasla in Pune. So if you just want to enter the National Defense Academy, you must be between 16 and a half and 19 and a half years. That is, as on first day of the month in which the course is due to commence. That is the age. And the qualification, the eligibility to join the National Defense Academy, that is 12th, you should have passed 12th, or of course, yeah, there are of course other academies. Okay, and the Combined Defense Services Examination is for entry into the National Defense Academy, the Officers Training Academy, and of course the Indian Military Academy at different places, right? So for National Defense Academy, you must be between 16 and a half and 19 and a half, and you should have a pass, right, in 12th class, that is, or 12th or 10 plus 2 equivalent for the army, with physics and with maths for air force and navy. So this is the basic qualification for entry into the for applying for the Combined Defense Services Examination. And keep in mind that the Combined Defense Services Examination normally take place twice a year. Now, of course, due to COVID, we have the some problems of conducting the examination twice a year. Otherwise, in normal times, the examination is conducted twice a year, right? And now let's look at who can just enter, right? And now, of course, remember the defense services, armed forces, army, navy, or air force. Okay, earlier, years ago, only men could apply. That too, only unmarried young men could apply. But recently, there has been a lot of changes, and right now we have, of course, entry for ladies, or rather girls as well, and women cadets can also join the armed forces. And not all the uh, training programs, all the courses, but there are a number of courses for joining the. I'll be just mentioning that as well, right? Okay, so a number of courses to join the armed forces for ladies as well, and new courses have been just commenced for lady officers, right? And there is a lot of scarcity for lady officers in Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force. So if there are girls who wish to join the armed forces, don't be upset. You can easily join and you can get commission in the armed forces. Right now, let us just look at more about the entry procedure. So, if you have crossed the age limit for applying to NDA, that is 16 and a half to 19 years, as on 1st January or July of the year of applying. So every year you can apply in January or July, and uh, we have the NDA, National Defense Academy examination. That is yeah every year, right? Now about CDSC, Combined Defense Services Examination. Through Combined Defense Services Examination, unmarried males gain admission into the Indian Military Academy, Dehradun, or the Naval Academy at Goa, or the Air Force Station at Hyderabad, or Officers Training Academy, Madras. This is, of course, these are the offices, the institutions, academies where you get training, right? And where do you get information about the Combined Defense Services examination? That's very, very important. And when do you know that there is a notification to apply for the Combined Defense Services? So uh, you should go to libraries. You should go to libraries in your college or your school, or maybe public libraries. In public libraries, you have your employment news and leading employment news publish notifications, right? And the best is Rozgar Samachar, okay? And 5 to 6 months before the date of examination, you have the examination, the notification every year, and the examination, Combined Defense Services examination, is organized by the Union Public Service Commission. And if you just browse the website of the Union Public Service Commission, that is www.upsc.gov.in, you will get proper information about the Combined Defense Services examination. Okay, and now let us just look at the services, rather the Combined Defense Services, right? So everybody knows that most of us uh, are very, very fond of, we admire Army or Navy or Air Force officers, right? So it is obvious that it is, of course, the defense services offer dignified, disciplined, prestigious placements, right? It is these three very important. Okay, the position as an officer in the Army, Navy, or Air Force is a dignified. The dignity you get is really immeasurable. Okay, so the dignity, discipline, and prestigious placement, right? That is the attraction of the profession, right? And we know that in order to be an officer in the armed forces, you must be mentally and physically fit, and you should enjoy the challenge of outwitting the enemy, and love strategizing and planning. This is very important. Like I told as a fun, I told in the beginning that maybe you are fond of using weapons, right? You as a youngster of 3 years or 4 years used a number of toy guns or toy pistols, right? But in the armed forces, Army, Navy, or Air Force, you can use all the real weapons available in the country, in the world, maybe in the world, because your training and your work can be anywhere in the world. Maybe of course you will have to join the United Nations missions, right? And in such times you will get a wonderful opportunity to know the weapons manufactured and used by the uh, foreign nations. Okay, so United Nations is a wonderful and most leading nations of the world send their defense personnel officers to the missions of the United Nations, right? So it is in fact a wonderful opportunity uh, to fulfill your dreams of using the weapons. Not only that, of course, just attacking and maybe murdering the enemy. That is just becoming a reality when you join the armed forces. Okay, and we have to understand the fact that the Combined Defense Services Examination, or CDSE, is for, in fact, all Indian nationals, irrespective of caste, creed, community, religion, and region. This is again very, very important. And let me just emphasize one thing. Okay, there is no shortcut to join the armed forces. There is no shortcut to pass the Combined Defense Services, the examination, to of course get selected in the interview. Okay, you cannot bribe anybody. There is nothing of that sort. All right, and there aren't any of course there are many private institutions. It has become a big industry or business giving training to the candidates, students interested in joining the Combined Defense Services, right? But the government has sent, of course, other than the military schools, we have military schools, right? And in the military schools, you get an orientation about the about life in the armed forces. And if you can, or if you want your children to, of course, become uh, people, officers, or maybe soldiers, okay, you can send them to the military schools in different parts of the country, the subcontinent of India. Okay, we have military schools, right? More than minimum, there is one military school in most of the states of the country. All right, so that's it, right? Other than that, the government doesn't uh, just run any institution to train candidates for the armed forces. So don't be trapped. Don't be trapped. That's what I have to tell you. Because there are certain a number of private organizations which say that we will make you an officer in Army, Navy, or Air Force, right? And they charge you a lot of amount. Okay, a lot of amount, maybe I would say lakhs. All right, but don't waste that. With proper planning, determination, hard work, and systematic planning, I would say systematic planning. You must know the syllabus. You must, of course, interact with people and prepare very well. You will, of course, just get through. And remember, there is no uh, discrimination, regardless of caste, creed, color, community, religion, and region. There is selection into the armed forces, Army, Navy, and the Air Force. That is very, very important. And remember, the endeavor has been to provide free and equal opportunities to all sections of the population of India to join the armed forces. And remember, while serving your country, you get to see your country, learn more about it, and enjoy challenging career, and all in a disciplined manner. This is very important. And I would say this is a profession where you get abundance of satisfaction. No other profession. Okay, I'll be lecturing about other professions as well. Okay, maybe there are professions which give you monetary benefit, financial benefit, right, may be higher. But remember, in the armed forces these days, right, the governments, right, recently there has been a big hike in the benefits, the salary of the officers and soldiers in the armed forces, and the salaries, of course, wonderful and attractive. And once you join the armed forces, the government is looking after you and your family. All right, all your needs. All right, and you can, even your travel, your medicine, uh, your family's requirements, okay, even your entertainment, you have, of course, benefits and allowances for everything. All right, so the country will be with you all the time, and you can be proud that you are serving the nation. So this is a wonderful uh, thing that you apply for the combined defense services examination, and you get trained in the Indian Military Academy or the National Defense Academy, or of course um, any of the officers training academy, and become an officer in the armed forces. Now let's look at the nature of the work. So it's no doubt it is, of course, a dignified profession. Now the nature of the work is okay. If you are interested, you will do the work. That is the thing you have to remember. And a career in any of the armed forces, defense services, epitomizes discipline, existence, dignity, and in standing in society unmatched by any other profession. So this is something, right, you would be just respecting, you would be looking at the army of the defense officers, right? I don't mean army alone, army, navy, and air force officers with a lot of adoration. You would adore them because they are people who have developed who underwent a kind of holistic development. Everything about them, their their manner of talking, walking, their life, decision making, all the leadership qualities and communication skills and decision making and everything they have, leadership qualities, communication skills, and decision making. Very, very important. So, it is, of course, a regimented life. This is something important. Military life is regimented than a civil life. In civil, you are always with your family, you are with your relatives, you are with your neighbors, you are, of course, in your village. But in military, in the defense, you have a regimental. You are with your company, you are with, of course, your regiment. All right, and you are always very, very alert. And now let us understand the nature of the work. Where will you work? Okay, you join the defense services and the nature of the work. And when we discuss the nature of work, remember we are looking at the different commands, the commands of the army, the navy, and the air force. So you could be an army officer, you could be a navy officer, or you could be an air force officer. And as an officer, you could be under any of the commands of the army, navy, or air force. And when we look at the army, we have to understand the fact that army is organized into five operational commands: the southern, the eastern, western, central, and northern command. And besides, we also have the training command. So we have to understand the fact that the army consists of a number of arms and services. Okay, so the officers can be anywhere in the following arms and services. Like we have armed corps, we have regiment of artillery, we have corps of air defense artillery, army aviation corps, corps of engineers, corps of signals, mechanized infantry, Army Service Corps, Military Nursing Service, Army Medical Corps, Army Dental Corps, Army Ordnance Corps, Corps of Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, Renowned and Veterinary Corps, Military Farm Service, Army Education Corps, Intelligence Corps, Corps of Military Police, Judge Advocate General Department, Army Physical Training Corps, Pioneer Corps, Army Postal Service, Territorial Army, Defense Security Corps. In addition, the Army has its own recruiting organization, record offices, depots, boys establishment, and selection centers and training institutions. So this is about the nature of work. And an army officer can be anywhere in any of these commands, like the southern, eastern, western, central, northern, and training commands. That's about the nature of the work in the army. Now let's look at the nature of work or the commands of the Indian Navy. If Army has 5 commands, the Navy has 3 commands. And the 3 commands of Navy are the Western, the Eastern, and the Southern, with their headquarters located at Mumbai. Mumbai is the headquarters of the naval commands. And of course, we have the other commands at Vishakhapatnam and Cochin. And we have to understand that the Navy is responsible for defense and security of India's maritime interests and assets, both in time of war and peace. Okay, and the Indian Navy is well balanced. It is a three-dimensional force consisting of sophisticated missile-capable warships, aircraft carriers, minesweepers, advanced submarines, and the latest aircraft in the inventory. That's about the potential of Indian Navy. And we have to understand the fact that we have, of course, the Air Force as well in the defense services. Let's look at the commands of the Air Force. The Air Force is organized both on functional as well as geographical basis, and there are 5 operational commands for the Indian Air Force. And the 5 operational commands for the Indian Air Force are Western Air Command, Southern Air Command, Central Air Command, Eastern Air Command, and yes, in addition, of course, we have the maintenance and training commands, 2 functional commands of the Indian Air Force. So this is about the work in nature. So once you commission from the National Defense Academy or the Officers Training Academy or the Indian Military Academy, you could be working anywhere in the commands under the Army, Navy, or Air Force. That is the nature of the work. And now, what kind of work do you do? That is the next discussion. We are discussing work environment. Okay, so let us look at. All right, normally, normally uh, the defense personnel enjoy the opportunity to work in pleasant, well maintained office complexes during peacetime. Okay, so life is very, very wonderful during peacetime. But during war and times of internal strife, the work environment changes drastically. They have to, of course, draw upon their training to work in hostile terrain among unknown enemies and all kinds of lurking dangers. This is the working environment. So at times there is difficulty. Okay, but real officers in Army, Navy, and Air Force look for maybe work, that is tough work, dangerous, adventurous work. Okay, normally peacetime life is quite cool, but wartime, internal, external problems, some, of course, disasters, right? There is work, okay, difficult work. Otherwise, life is quite comfortable in well-maintained office complexes. That's about the right work environment, and more about the work environment in the defense services. Defense officers live in well-maintained, clean, and well-planned residential complex with facilities for sports and entertainment available at the club, community center, mess nearby. A comfortable and peaceful living environment helps to reduce stress of modern life, and schools run by the defense forces provide a very healthy and convenient arrangement for education of the children of defense personnel. Okay, that is about the life, right? That's why I said that don't worry about the payment, the salary, because you don't have to spend your salary for anything like your family, because the government is with you all the time, feeds you, even pays you for your dressing, your entertainment, education of your family, medical. You have, of course, free food, all right, free travel, wonderful life you have in the armed forces. Okay, and maybe you could be posted in dangerous places. So during postings to hostile terrain or danger prone areas, the family continues to be safe in the residential complex for defense personnel in safe locations, while the men work to keep danger at bay and create safe environment. That's about the work environment. Now we will look at the physical and psychological requirements to go for defense services, to apply for, of course, right? So it's I mean, a student, right? A young boy or a girl must ensure that he or she has the uh, required minimum physical and psychological requirements. So I would just mention the minimum height and the maximum height. So also the minimum weight and the maximum weight one can to apply for the defense services. So I told in the beginning that to apply for defense academy, that is National Defense Academy, or rather, yeah, one of the uh, training centers in the combined defense services, one should be between 16 and a half and 19 and a half. So you can join the right training institutions or the academies, right, in the military academies, up to 27 years, right? That is, of course, remember, you can join the Army Education Corps um, before crossing 27 years. So that means you can join the army, navy, or the defense services from the age of 16 and a half to 27 years. Like you have the Army Education Corps in Indian Military Academy Dehradun, and there you will join when you are between 23 and 27. And in order to join the Army Education Corps, where you teach, you must be a postgraduate in the, with, of course, minimum 55 percentage of uh, total grade, right, marks. Okay, you should be uh, with a postgraduate, that is right. So after that you cannot join, but for combined defense services you must be between 16 and a half and 19 and a half to join the National Defense Academy. Okay, so besides, remember, you can join the OTA, that is Gaya, OTA Gaya, after your plus two physics, chemistry, and maths. All right, you must be between 16 and a half and 19 and a half years. Then you can join Indian Military Academy, Dehradun. You must be a graduate. You must be a graduate to join the Indian Military Academy Dehradun, and you can be between 19 to 24 years to join the Indian Military Academy Dehradun. Besides, you can also join the Indian Military Officers Training Academy Chennai, and remember, you must again be a graduate. Must be a graduate from any recognized university. You can be between 19 and 25. So remember, the Combined Defense Services, National Defense Academy, Indian Military Academy, and you have the Officers Training Academy. So NDA, you must be between 16 and a half and 19 and a half years. Other academies, okay, and like our right, Indian Military Academy and Officers Training Academy, you could be right, you could be just between right, 19 to 27 years, including Army Education Corps. Okay, so that is in general. And now physical and psychological requirement is essential for all the academies, National Defense Academy or Indian Military Academy or Officers Training Academy. Physical requirement. So minimum height should be, it can be, okay, 152 centimeter. That is minimum height, and maximum height is 195 centimeter. Okay, and minimum weight is okay, 44 kg, and maximum height can be 78 kg. Okay, so below 44 and above 78, it is a physical problem. All right, that is about physical, basic right, basic right. Besides that, you should also see that before applying for CD, a Combined Defense Services examination, you should ensure that you go for proper medical checkup. You yourself go to hospitals, consult doctors, and ensure that you have the expected physical okay, qualities, like your vision, your eyesight. Okay, uh, uh, you have to consult some medical professionals. You have to go to the doctors and hospitals and ensure that you have uh, basic physical requirement, right? Say it is advised that you go for a preliminary medical checkup on your own for wax in ears, ENT. Okay, so wax in ears, then refractory error of eyes, fungal infection of skin. I told life in the military or defense is regimental life. So you mustn't be having any contagious diseases or any skin problems. Okay, so before reporting to the SSB interview, you must ensure that you have good health, like ENT. Okay, go for ENT examination, then see to it that your vision is good. So also see to it that you have no uh, skin diseases. Okay, and now the other basic physical requirements. Okay, chest should be, chest should be always, uh, we speak about chest up, chin up. Okay, cadets, officers, cadets, officers will always be walking with their chest and chin up. So chest should be developed. The minimum range of expansion after full inspiration should be 5 centimeters. You must be able to, you breathe in, and with air in your lungs. Okay, there must be a minimum expansion of 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters, minimum expansion of 5 centimeters. Often it could be 8, 9, 10. All right, so development of the chest is very, very essential. And okay, next thing, a candidate should have no past history of mental breakdown or fits. This is again very important. Mentally, he must be very strong. shouldn't have fits again. Epilepsy, no such disease, not such problems, right? And another thing is, of course, hearing. Hearing test must be done, and he should have the expected hearing. Okay, that is a forced whisper with each ear at distance of 610 centimeters in a quiet room. That is the hearing of the candidate, right? Now, other than that, okay, unoperated hernias will make a candidate unfit. Okay, then we must ensure that right, vision, again, vision is very, very important, right? All this, or there are more details about the physical. Okay, so go to the hospital, go to a physician, doctor, and see that you have minimum physical fitness before applying to the combined defense services examination. All right, and now about the uh, other basic, like psychological and the personality and all. Effective intelligence, courage, a deep sense of responsibility, the ability to reason and determination are some of the more important qualities the defense recruiters look for when selecting men for these services. This is very essential. Okay, he must be intelligent, he must be courageous, deep sense of responsibility, very, very important, and the ability to reason and determine. That is, decision making is very crucial, because an army officer will soon be a commander. He will be just in charge of a group, a group of soldiers, and other officers will be under him. So decision making is very crucial. Everybody will be looking up to you. What is our decision? We have a crisis, we have a problem. What are we going to do? And decision making. So, intelligence, effective intelligence, courage, responsibility, and decision making. Now, okay, let us look at the very, very nationality. Okay, all citizens of India, a subject of Bhutan, a subject of Nepal, and Tibetan refugees, okay, and people of Indian origin can apply for combined defenses, like people of Indian origin who have, of course, Indians migrated to Pakistan, Burma, Sri Lanka, East African countries like Kenya, Uganda, then Tanzania, Zambia, okay, and Vietnam and Ethiopia, right, can apply for the combined defenses, right, defense services, right. Now, let us look at the selection process. How are the candidates selected after uh, uh, yeah, the notification? There is a notification and the candidates apply, and afterwards what happened? So let us look at. So we have soon after the notification and application, we have the written examination. This is the most significant thing. And we have a very competitive selection process, written examination, and after the written examination, interview for intelligence and personality testing. So written examination followed by intelligence and personality testing. And okay, maximum marks allotted to the written examination to the interviews are equal for each course. For each course, the maximum mark is 300 marks. 300 marks for defense, NDA, OTA, IMA, okay, IMA Dehradun, then OTA Chennai, okay, OTA, of course, Gaya. Every entrance examination, defense services, maximum marks is 300. And okay, uh, for uh, we have entry into the Indian Military Academy, Air Force Academy, and Naval Academy, and 200 marks each for written, and 100 for, of course, the interview. That is the division of marks. 200 written and 100 for interview for admission to officers training academy. Okay, so Indian military academy, air force academy, naval academy, it is 300 marks. And officers training academy, it is 200, right? So let us look at the very plan of the written examination, combined defense services examination. So for admission to Indian military academy, naval academy, and air force academy, okay, 100 marks for English, 2 hours time for English examination. And GK, 100 marks again, 2 hours. So 100 plus 100, 200. And elementary mathematics, 100 marks, 2 hours. So it is admission to IMA, Naval Academy, and Air Force Academy, 100 English, 100 marks for general knowledge, and elementary mathematics, 100. Okay, so that is the division of marks, and that is the pattern of questions, right? And let us look at what could be the type of level of difficulty or the type of questions that can be asked in the combined defense examination. Okay, standard of English comprehension and usage is tested. Okay, and general knowledge, current events, general science, Indian history, and geography. Okay, so English, it is comprehension and usage. Current general knowledge, it is current affairs, general science, plus two level, physics, mathematics, chemistry. Okay, physics, biology, botany, zoology, and chemistry. Okay, plus two level. And Indian history, you must have, the student should have an idea of ancient and medieval and modern, a little bit, the very essential, right, of Indian history. And besides that, geography, the very geography, and is essential. Every student must have an idea of the Indian subcontinent, the border, the oceans or the seas, the rivers, the terrain, mountains, hills, plateaus, okay, and the bordering countries. All that is essential. Okay, and now we have the personality test, personality testing. Okay, we have the services selection board interview. Okay, who have cleared the written examination will go for personality testing. And of course, after the personality testing, there is the psychological testing, right? And in the personality testing, what happened is effective intelligence, intelligence, sense of responsibility, initiative, judgment, ability to reason and organize, communication skills, determination, courage, self confidence, speed in decision making, willingness to set an example, compassion and loyalty to the nation. Okay, all this is tested. And then we have the psychological testing. Okay, then we have the outdoor test or group task. Then we have personal interview. And psychological testing comprise word association, thematic appreciation, situation reaction, and self appraisal. Then we have group task test. And there we have group discussion, group planning, outdoor group task, lecture. Okay, all that. And at last, written examination, personality test, psychological test, then interview. And interview, okay, is quite cool. uh, a candidate who has passed the former three levels, written examination, personality test, psychological test, can perform very well in the interview. And there again, there is too much competition, and one has to be very prepared. So what happens in interview? Interview, it is a direct conversation with the individual, and questions relate to family and educational background, hobbies. This is often similar in every union public service commission, no matter whether it is combined defense services or even the very Indian UPSC, Indian Administrative Services, right? Okay, the civil services examination. Same family and educational background, hobbies, extracurricular activities, games, sports, reading habits, general knowledge, international information, range of ideas, political thinking, views, and understanding of religion, history, and patriotism, and of course, the very reason to join the armed forces, right? Okay, and at last, there is the final selection, and in the final selection, of course, overall analysis of the candidate. What is overall analysis? In the written examination, in the personality test, psychological test, and interview. How does a candidate perform? Based on that, you are selected, and you will join the uh, academies: National Defense Academy, Indian Military Academy, and of course Officers Training Academy. Now we have training, right? That is, remember, the training in National Defense Academy will be of 3 years. You will have a degree program, 3 years, and yeah, National Defense Academy. Then OTA Gaya, there is again 3 years training, and military academies, Indian Military Academy and OTA, the training is 6 months, right? It could be 6 months to 1 year. All right, so that is the training. Then candidates selected for training to the OTA are enrolled as gentlemen cadets for approximate period of 9 months. I said I said 6 months to 1 year. That is 9 months. On successful completion training, gentlemen cadets are granted short service commission in the rank of second lieutenant. Tenure of appointment is granted for a period of 5 years, and there is, of course, there are changes in the service norms right now, and of course, you are given a wonderful pay. And now we'll look at the career progression. Army, you will commission as lieutenant, you will later be promoted to captain, later to major, lieutenant colonel, colonel, brigadier, major general, lieutenant general, and last, the general in army. And in navy, you will join as sub lieutenant, lieutenant, lieutenant commander, commander, captain, commodore, rear admiral, vice admiral, and admiral. And in the air force, flying officer. Entry as commissioned officer is flying officer, flight lieutenant, squadron leader, wing commander, group captain, air commodore, air vice marshal, air marshal, air chief marshal. Okay, so that is roughly about the, yeah, almost everything about the combined defense services. Okay, and now uh, maybe with this information, you can prepare for your combined defense services examination, and just pass the written examination, the personality test, the psychological test, and the interview, and be an officer in the defense, the armed forces of the country, army, navy, or air force. I wish you all the best. May God bless you. Thank you very much for being with me almost 1 hour. Bye bye.